we go. There we go. Magic, hi. Hope you're doing good too, Agent. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta get a new power supply for up there. I don't know why, but that one just keeps fading on me. Like when I first started up, it like dies, and then I just restart it, and it's like, oh, okay. I don't know what's going on. Austin, hello. Cheers, cheers. Oh, it's so hot. I posted online if anyone's curious what we were working on yesterday. It's good coffee. All that, like the triplet stuff, and I wrote it out. So I posted a picture of this. It's on the interwebs if you're curious. It's in the Discord, on Instagram, Twitter. So if you guys are curious and want to check that out. Figured I'd warm up today. I should go get the metronome. I think we're going to try some metronome stuff. But, ooh, waking up. Oh. Sunday morning, rain is falling. That snare's way too hot. Coffee and sleepy toddler and drums. Nice. A sleepy toddler is a good thing to have. As long as they're not sick, right? You don't want a sick, sleepy toddler. Hopefully you get somewhat of a nap time today. I remember certain days our kids always looked like they were about to fall asleep, and they never did. We're like, just take a nap. And they're like, no. The babies. The babies. So I'm just going to warm up with just kind of like the throwing... how do I put it? Snares on all the permutations to triplets and kick drums, and just warm up with some, get the blood flowing, and then we're gonna hit that again. That's the plan for today, and some up-tempo stuff later on, because I wanted to get to that yesterday, but I was so into the Paradiddle thing. I got distracted, but that led to something really cool. So excited to work today. Today's my dad's birthday. Happy birthday to my dad. So we're going to go up after stream and have dinner and cake and all the things up at his place. So it should be really fun. But yeah, happy Sunday, guys. If you have questions or you're curious about anything, please interrupt. Please ask. All right, here we go. Gonna start with that, but you'll notice I'm trying to do like different volumes with different limbs, like trying to make just the kick louder and not let the hand. So that's where we'll start out with that, just like a dynamics, relaxation, make sure I'm not tensing up, really focus on where I'm hitting, that sort of stuff. trying that with the thing we did yesterday. Take away the right hand and trying to play triplets like triplet, triplet. Whoo! What did we call them? Oh man, was it Blazzies or something? No. Blaz beats, I think maybe. That was funny. My brain don't work. All right, so that's putting the kick first, right? So going like 1 ta ta, 2 ta ta, 3 ta ta, 4 ta ta. Let's reverse. Let's do the snare first. I want to run through all these little permutations of this, just to warm up. Blaz, the blaz beats. That's right. Blast beats. Look out. You are now second on the on the food chain. Tell you what though, I guarantee you a lot of the jazz players like back in the day, a lot more speed and power than the metal guys. I bet you. Just saying. Tips with the 2-3, 29. Let's go. Good morning.
Are you ready for it?
What? Holy crap! What are you doing? I don't even have the window open. 10 tips. Oh, good morning. Thank you. Big brat. Oh, that's so nice. Are you having a good morning so far? That's so kind. Some good people got one. Chester and Turtle. Lara. Mama Slim. Good people. Let's go. Finally got a deck built and ready in time for summer. Just need to snag a grill. Ooh. Tips. Do you watch Bluey at all? Do you know Bluey? Do you know the dad? Bandit? Powerful sound. Buddy Rich was an animal when he was on. Oh my gosh, yeah. Buddy, Elvin, Tony Williams. When it comes to power, like, I mean, there's rock guys that can hit, but I mean, they don't have the control and power that those guys did, in my opinion. Come at me, forums. But you know Bluey. There's an episode where Bandit's neighbor got a pizza grill, like a stove, outdoor pizza stove, right? And he looked over at his wife and he's like, honey, we're going to Hammer Barn. They're Australian. So Hammer Barn is like Home Depot. And it's so funny because like the dad's like, we're going to like, basically he's like, we're going to Home Depot, right? Like he wants to get a pizza oven because his neighbor got one. Lucky's dad, you know? So yeah, it's pretty funny. The messy SUV. Oh, everything about that show is pure genius. It's the best. It's one of the best shows ever made, in my opinion. It's so good. But the deck, what kind of wood did you make, or what kind of wood did you use, Tips? Did you use like treated, untreated? Did you get it painted? Do you have to use that? Like, we have the fake wood stuff. It's like, I don't even know what it is, but it's like indestructible on the floor of our deck. We didn't put it in, but it was in there. And I got to redo the railing of our deck this year because it's like, it's pretty old. One good like push, the kids are going to be going right through it. So we're going to Hammerbahn. I can't even do a good Australian impression. Hammerbahn. Hammerbahn. That's so bad. But I love the episode, and the kids play with like the paint things. It's pretty awesome. But that's really cool. Summers, what is it? Mother's Day. Today's my dad's birthday. Next Sunday is Mother's Day. Following weekend is Chicago Drum Show. Following weekend after that is Memorial Day, and that's basically summer. I'd gained 30 pounds in a month. Oh, composite, yeah. An aluminum railing, nice. Okay, much maintenance as possible. I didn't even think about aluminum railing because I was just gonna cut the wood up at Dad's. I was just gonna make railing and then paint it. Is the aluminum railing really expensive? It probably is, huh? Aluminum, anything metal right now is just like, even woods, I guess. Wood is expensive. Say, rise up, lights. I can't do it. Oh, that's right. Raise the blades. Rise of lights. What's that from? I forget what that's from. That's awesome. Rise of lights. That's so good. Oh, man, I love it. If you went out and bought wood too, yeah. But like you said, the maintenance thing, it's so worth it. I live like in the woods, so we like the deck doesn't get a lot of sun, so it just gets like, mold, not mold, but I guess it's like mold, but like algae grows on it, because the sun doesn't kill it. So it sucks. I think I can go up to Dad's and just get the wood for free. I'll make the kids paint it. But it's a pretty decent sized deck. I don't know. I gotta deal with it this year because there's one spot where, honestly, if you pulled on it really hard, it would just pop off. He's a woman. Hi. Speaking of construction, you're getting a new bathroom. Just a 12 by 16. That's pretty big though, right? I don't even know how big ours is. I haven't measured it. I'm essentially just gonna take the wood measurements that are on it right now and just copy it. So I don't have to really do anything new. I'll just measure the posts and just recreate them, 2 weeks overtime so far. Yeah. That's the thing with construction. It always they always say either double or triple the time that they tell you. Because contractors are probably working like 20 jobs at the same time, It's very frustrating because they're like, oh yeah, we'll get that done in a week. And it's like a month later. You're like, hello? Sometimes it's because they can't get stuff or, they're just working multiple jobs. It stinks. But not having a bathroom, that's got to be getting old very quick. It looks really cool, though. The wall picture I saw, it's like the hex. How many's in 6? Hex? 6 sides? That's 6, right? The color's very, very cool in the design. We'll eventually be doing that in our house, but once the boys are probably in college, second year of college, just to make sure they're not coming back. Then watch, they'll graduate college and they come back, live at home. Right? I won't say who, but there's someone my age that just went back home to live with their parents. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I was like, man, that's a good gig. But I couldn't do that. Oh my God, I couldn't. I love my parents, but I couldn't being 40 years old and moving back, I couldn't do it. But I was like, man, that's a good gig. That's a really good gig. So he's got a great job. He's working, saving money. He broke up with his not wife, they were girlfriend. boyfriend, I don't know if they were engaged for like 20 years, like one of those, couples that never got married. But then they broke up. So I was like, dude, that's awesome. Save money at the expense of your sanity. That's the thing. Like, I don't think I couldn't do it. I don't know. If I had to, I could, but I left when I was out of high school. Yeah. But yeah. So it's kind of like he moved back home, I think, for sanity reasons. And save money. At the same time, he's got it figured out. I would not be able to live with my parents for more than a couple of weeks. I love them, but I'd end up on TV for murder or something. Yeah. Was it Nightline? Yeah, when we would come back from California and visit for a few weeks, it was always like, all right, we're ready to go. And my parents were like, yeah, get out of here. They like their sanity too, So I feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, I think he's pretty comfortable right now with his situation. So his parents were like, oh, he'll just stay with us for a little bit till he bounces back. And I was like, man, he's staying there for a long time. That's the perfect setup. Nice house, no rent, food, utilities, close to work. Oh man, he's living the dream. All right, so I went to a clinic last weekend. For those of you who I haven't seen, and I haven't streamed all week. I was waiting on a part, and it's been busy here. But we're back streaming. And last Saturday, I wasn't here because I went to Hawthorne Drum Shop in Pittsburgh. It was a great clinic with Mark Juliana. He's a great drummer and cool dude, very chill. It was a great talk, but it was a simple concept. It was like the things that you're learning on the drums with multiple hands and feet and the beats that you play. Just as an exercise, try playing a beat that or an exercise, but then taking one hand away or one foot and see what happens. Can you still play the beat with the remaining limbs? It's kind of like within each beat, if you're using all 4 limbs, there's technically 16 variations of combinations that you could play, right? Silence and then like 2 together, these 2, these 2, these 3, all together, and so on. There's 16 variations. So it was a kind of a cool concept to say, like, all right, I've been working on a lot of exercises stuff. We got like a month and a half left before we'll get back into like the swing of, playing music and stuff, but really concentrating like a year of just, what am I playing? How is it working? What am I really, playing when I'm playing? So this took me in a very cool direction of thought where I was like, man, I'm learning this stuff and I can play it, but I don't have a handle on it because the minute I take something away, it all kind of falls apart. I can still play it, but it's not at the same confidence level. So that's kind of what I want to start with today. And then yesterday, someone brought up Triplet, or someone brought up Paradiddles, and then that led me down a rabbit hole. So we're going to work on that. And then at the end, we'll do some up-tempo stuff. I'll go grab the metronome, and we'll plug that through the system and kind of work on some fast tempo comping. Your uncle moved back home in his 30s and never left again. No, I get it. I totally get it. I don't know. I think it would depend on the parents, I have some family members that did that, and they're still doing that. Not like in my family, but like cousins and stuff. So if it works, You know, if it works and everyone's cool, then cool. But if you move back and it's just a constant like arguing and like you can't live like that. It's not a way. It's not a way. But yeah, my middle son is he my oldest is like, I'm gonna move to New York and work and blah blah blah. He's already got it figured out, and my youngest wants to get a camper and live in the woods. I was like, that's awesome. My middle son is like, I'm just gonna live here with you guys forever, and I was like, like forever? He's still young, so I don't want to be like, no way, dude, you're getting out of here. You're getting the boot. But yeah, it's cute. He's like, I'm just gonna live with mom and dad. I like my room. He's like, I'm not leaving. Be a tiny home in the backyard separate from their house to make anything like that work. Yeah. And even like my mom, and dad, like their I just have one grandma left, but she's in like an assisted living place, like not a nursing home because she can still do everything, but it's like it's like an apartment, and then there's like nurses there just in case something happens. So she still does like cooking and all that stuff. But there was talk of like, well, we could put like a small house. Like my parents were thinking like put her up by them, just to have her close, because she didn't want to move in with any of the kids. So it is something to think about, like as you get older, like our parents, the situations and all that, it changes. So yeah, tiny homes. Those are kind of cool. Like part of me wants one of those. And then I think the concept of it, you watch like videos on YouTube, everyone's like, oh, I live in like a shipping container in the middle of the woods and I have everything I need. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. But like, don't you get tired of that? Especially if you have a significant other and you're living in a tiny house. No offense, but like sometimes you're like, I'm just gonna go in another room in a tiny house. There are no other rooms. I guess you have corners. After a while I'd be like, all right. My wife would totally be like, no, we are not doing this. Sorry, babe, I'm just gonna drum a little bit in our tiny house. It's cool, right? You don't mind? It's a bit tight for drumming. Yeah, exactly. Rally, what's up? I think the concept of a tiny home is cool, but I'm 6'5". It just, yeah. Like, I think it'd be fun for, like, I don't know. It's like when you're watching someone's, like, dog, Like, if you're, like, we have a dog. I love my dog. But, it's exciting to have, like, a new dog around. You're like, oh, this is great. This is fun. And then, like, 2 days later, you're like, yeah, all right, we're done. Yeah, you can take your dog back. That's how I think of, like, the tiny home thing. You're like, this is cool. This is great. Like, a little getaway. Maybe, like, a night away would be fun. But then you're like, yeah, we got to get, no. Little house in the prairie just ain't cutting it. An enormous house. Bass player, how are you doing? Let's go. It's good to see you. But yeah, so Tips has a new deck, which is good. How big of a grill? I don't know if Tips is still here, but hopefully you get a big grill, right? So you can make all the meats and maybe corn, I don't know, on the grill. He's the one who's getting a new bathtub. Would just be drums. Oh, if it was my tiny house? Yeah, this is like a tiny house, right? This is my tiny house. The ultimate fort, yeah. We're getting to that weather with the boys that we're going to do camping, and like fires. I already told them today, actually. I'm like, we're having fires this week. I got a lot of branches and brush that fell down over the winter that we're going to just make a big bonfire. And they're like, yes. It's fun. So it's that time of year, but it's all polleny right now. Like I mowed the lawn yesterday, and the whole time all the dandelion fluff was just like around me. like, hey, you're gonna have a horrible night's sleep. And I was like, yeah. All the pine and spruce, all that stuff, they're all making the pollen. Ugh. It's a bad time if you're outside right now and you have allergies. But imagine if I did a clinic somewhere. We're going to be doing actually a clinic this year. I won't say where, but we're going to do something pretty cool. Imagine if I was like, all right, and did stuff like that. Wait, what's that called? Not gravity blast. What is that when you play on the sides of the drum? I forget what that's called. Does anyone remember? I remember Johnny Rab. Shout out to Johnny Rab. He used to do the roll-in videos. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? And it was like Johnny Rab. He had like the Britney Spears mic, and he was like, all right, let me just show you what this rolling thing can do. And he'd be like, he'd do like gravity blasts on like hi-hats in each tom. And I was like, whoa, who is this guy? He's crazy. But he plays for Collective Soul right now, I think. Johnny does. He's a good guy. He's very nice. But I just remember watching those roll-in videos and this is like 2005, maybe 4. And then like all the metal guys and gals in like they're around then started doing it. I'm like, what? They're playing like Johnny Reb. That's cool. Gravity blast, gravity roll. Yeah, here, I'll show you. It's essentially where you play off the rim, right? If you pitch the stick down and pitch it back up, you hit, right? So you create this like I'll do this. It's so weird. It's so weird. Anyway. It's for the youths. That's a youths thing. He's so good at those. Yeah, he's good at all the things. Right? But Johnny Rab was, if you want to see, in my opinion, the master of it, Johnny Rab. Check out Johnny Rab. He even made a stick that was like developed to play those things. It had like these little grooves in it. And I think Regal Tip put them out. Regal Tip's not around anymore, but I remember going to NAMM one year and he gave me a pair. He's like, yo, you gotta have these. And I was like, oh. They had like these like beads on them on the sides. They looked a little kinky, if you know what I mean. And I was like, I'm not gonna play with these. You know? Alfredo, what's up? How are you doing? Still Yeah, we're doing the jazz. Doing the jazz. Yeah, the wavy sticks. I don't remember who made them. I thought it was Regal Tip, but I could be very wrong. I think he still sells them on his own, though. But he doesn't play them live, but you can still get them, I think, through him. Maybe his website or something like that. But they were trippy. They were an interesting stick. But, yeah, so we're playing. We're just warming up with some independent stuff. And I'm taking away things as we're playing just, like, the standard thing. Right now, the idea is... right? With a hiccup coming. It's coming. Maybe not. But then it's like, all right, take away the ride. Take away the snare. You know, that kind of stuff. So we're warming up. Then we're going to be working on Triplet Paradiddles again. And then Uptempo Jazz. That's the Sunday that I have dreamed about. All night in my dreams, I was like, I can't wait to wake up and practice. Legit. I'm very excited to have a full week of practice. Honestly, this whole week, I'm not recording anything. I said no, and we're just practicing. that's it. It's going to be a great week. I've been looking forward to it for a long. Do you guys know when you have a schedule of just like, oh, it seems like it's never going to end? Like, you got to go to this thing. You got to do this. You got to, and then the lawn, and then, the stuff. And you got to, the stuff. And you're like, I just want to get back into a routine of just calm. And this week, hopefully, is going to be calm. Watch. Tonight we're going to get ravaged by like the most insane stomach virus. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to be like, oh, it's going to be a great week. And then one of my kids is going to be like, oh. I'm going to be like, no. It's your one day off. No, I hear you. I hope it gets better. But we'll see what happens. So if anyone has questions about what we're doing, please ask. There's always an open floor. Again, the point of me sharing this, it's like I want you guys to see, you take an idea, take a concept, or if you're learning a new thing, take it and then just really learn it, but like all the elements of it. Because again, if you take away a certain thing, it becomes a whole new beat. But technically, it's the same idea, same concept. You're playing it here. I'm so reliant on this hand, my right hand, to kind of guide everything. Like once I start doing the right hand, everything just kind of falls into place, right? This is kind of like the general. But the minute you take the general away, like I said yesterday, it's like a classroom without a teacher. It's like everyone goes crazy. So part about independence and stuff like that, it's not like, oh, my independence means I can play this over this and this with an accent here and that. Sometimes independence means like playing the things you can already play, but like really deep down understanding every element of that thing you can already play. Like, where is that snare drum? And can you play that if that's all that you need to play? Like, Right, that kind of stuff. It was a really cool concept at the clinic, and it resonated with me. I was like, that's a good thing, because we talked about isolating certain things before, but when you really think about it, there's a lot you can get away or get from practicing that. So the first thing we're going to be doing is triplets, singles between kick and snare. Just comping that with jazz time 2 and 4 on the hi-hat. And I'll be taking things away and bringing things back. So, again, if you have questions, please ask. We're bringing the nerd today. We're going to run through a couple other permutations of this, and then we'll go over to the triplet paradiddle jazz exercise. And if we survive that, I should say, if I don't have a headache by the end of that, we'll do some up-tempo stuff after we're all warmed up. So, that's my goals today. That's what I would like to work on. I'm going to move on to doubles. So we'll do kick, kick, snare, snare. Right? Hopefully. Again, this is weird. Like I said, taking away certain things and still trying to keep it together, but with that confidence level when they're all together, it's very, or I should say when the right hand is involved. It's hard. That's hard. That's way hard. What's up, buddy? Hi. You know what? Something I always wanted when I was a kid was a my buddy. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. Wherever I go, he's gonna go. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. My buddy and me. Anyone know what I'm talking about? And Teddy freaking Ruxpin. I always wanted one of those too. My cousins had one. It was awesome, but they only had like one tape. So wild back in the day. My buddy, I wanted one of those and a Teddy Ruxpin. But hi, hello, happy Sunday. That thing looks like Teddy Ruxpin. Totally did. It was a little wild, but he was cool. He was cool. I loved it. My cousins had one, and I go over and they were two girl cousins, Sarah and Stacy, and they were like, let's play house, let's play, blah blah blah, and I was like, oh, I just want to play with your Teddy Ruxpin. I don't have a tea party. Give me the toy. I want to play with Teddy. He's cool. It was awesome. So yeah, my buddy. I'm moving some stuff just to see what happens. But man, these are tricky, guys. These are giving me a run for my money. Again, I could play them, but they aren't where they should be as far as understanding of what this is. It's a simple thing, but you take away one thing and it becomes a whole new exercise. And when you do that, if you work on things, if you have, it's like a car, right? Think of it like, yeah, you get in your car and it's running fine. But maybe there's an issue somewhere. Maybe your I don't know, your transmission's got a little stuff happening. The car's still gonna work, but there's an underlying problem that you really got to focus on and get checked out, single it out, work on it. And then your overall car is just going to run better, right? More confidently. You'll be able to take long trips and not worry about it. So that's how I'm thinking about this. Like, I can play this stuff all together, but it'll be a lot stronger if I single things out and really work on things individually. Man, my right hand doing that stuff, right? Like going so much. This is like, doesn't know what to do. It's so crazy how I love you, but you suck sometimes. Did you ever see that SNL sketch when Will Ferrell, it's called like puppy shaming or something? So funny. It's basically like I've tried to train my dog in all these kinds of ways, but the best way is like puppy shame him. I gotta shame my left hand. So mean. The poor puppies. Very cool. Let's do snares first. So opposite. Da, da. DJ, what's up? It's good to see you on this amazing, beautiful. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Pennsylvania. I hope you guys have a beautiful Sunday too. But yeah, let's try the next one. Now we'll go snare kick, kick, da, 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 da. Let's try that one. Woo, man. We'll shift it over. It's tricky. But what is your top 5 list of big band songs you would advise your students to learn? Wow, I don't know, buddy. I'm not really. I'm working on jazz, but I'm such a jazz big band. Like, that is not my element. I come from the rock and roll world, and the last year I've really been trying to learn jazz independence and stuff. I've played in jazz groups in LA, you know, but it's not my strong suit. So I really am not the person to say, like, these are the ones you should learn. But I love Duke Ellington. Love Duke Ellington. There's stuff from like the 40s. I guess it's not like big band, but you know, I think of like the Buddy Rich, Gene Krupa-esque stuff. I'm just not. It's not my area of expertise, so I don't know. I would have to give artists more than songs or charts. But sorry, hope that answers you without an answer, I guess. But yeah, I'm not like the expert in that field at all. With the 1 and 2s and 3s and 4s. Don't be a 1 and 3er, right? No, there was it's not, I wouldn't say big band, but there was a video game when I was a kid. I wonder if it's online or you can like, there's probably someone made a Spotify playlist. But personally, my favorite tracks, like big band stuff, would be like Glenn Miller. And that's not even like big band stuff. Tommy Dorsey, all those kind of things. I guess you can consider them big bands, but not like ripping like Buddy Rich style big bands. They were like the early kind of thing. So there was a World War II video game. Oh my gosh, we dropped out for a second. Are we back? Hopefully. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully we're still here. That's not good. I think we dropped out for a second. Jane's Combat Simulations. And then it was, oh man, the internet is being super not cool right now. Still here? Okay, it's like bumping up and down like crazy. We're having a lot of drop frames, so I'll wait a second. That's annoying. Sorry about that, guys. World War II Fighters. I think that was the name of the game. All right, it's back to taking all the juice. No, I don't know what that was. Yeah, it was called Jane's Combat Simulations World War II Fighters. Let me see. Soundtrack. Ba, bum, bum, bum. All right, so these were the songs that I really fell in love with. Duke Ellington, Take the A Train. Again, it's not like a massive, Dolomite, yeah, Erskine Hawkins, Tommy Dorsey, Opus 1, Glenn Miller, I Dreamt I Dwelt in Harlem, Tuxedo Junction. Again, these aren't like big band songs, but I think if you're going to get into that, they're a must. Yeah, Christian Poulet, Invasion. Sammy K, Daddy. Oh, those are great songs. I wonder if there's Jane's. Hold on. Combat Sim. If not, I'll make a playlist. Simulations. Seeing if there's one on like Tidal or Spotify. Ba bum bum ba dum. Boom. Yeah, no. I'll have to make one. But it was a great game, and the songs were always awesome. But yeah, that's as far as big band goes. I've never played in a big band. That's a whole another animal that I would love to, but the opportunities now to do that are so rare, you know, to find a group where you have a full horn section and all that stuff, and it's just something you don't see anymore at the frequency that it used to be, sadly. But yeah, we're working on that kind of stuff. I'm more in the realm of like bop right now. So, I mean, the big band stuff, that's more like that 40s kick, right? Like the big 4 on the floor, hit the bombs, hit the hits. I'm more going in the realm of like after that, yeah, like the bop era. That will start you up. Yeah. If you're gonna do big band stuff, what I would tell students is like just learn your basic jazz independence, and learn pretty much stuff that you have to think about is learning all possible spots for hits when it comes to jazz. So this is your right. Get comfortable with all the eighth note variations of where you can have a hit. And in big band, they're not usually crazy fast like you would see in a bop tune or something like that. So just learning your basic eighth note independence. Like that stuff. And then do learn the difference between a section figure and an ensemble figure. A section figure is kind of like maybe you and someone else in the group is going to be playing like, that kind of thing. Or an ensemble figure is everyone in the band is playing the same rhythm, like the like that stuff. When you're looking at charts, when you're learning big band, definitely try to find a chart to the tune that you're trying to learn, because then you'll just understand it so much more. Learn the melodies, learn what everyone's doing, so you can, again, the job of a drummer in the big band is to kind of hold it all together, be like the foundation, right? So kick drum needs to be steady, really firm. This needs to be present, the cymbal. It's loud on that microphone. Sorry, guys. I'll turn it down just a scooch. But that's a great question, buddy. Great question. I'm trying to think of big band drummers right now. Do you guys know offhand? I know Benny Greb has like a big band. I think he's playing the Minor Drum Festival with his big band. Anyone else know of drummers that like are honestly giving it a legit go with the big band? Dave Weckl, I know right now, kind of has a big band thing going on. If you want to check them out, I'm just trying to think of modern cats that are doing that style authentically. Benny Greb, I know. Dave Weckl. See, that's the thing. It's sad. I'm blanking. I'm sure there's so many at the college level. There's a bunch of I'm sure at North Texas, there's probably an amazing big band. But yeah, it's something, I hate to say it, but it is kind of like a dying art form, sadly. So the opportunity to play in a group as a drummer, it's hard because there's not a lot of bands, so the gigs get filled up and it's not a lot of opportunities to do it, I guess. Or maybe like Broadway. would be like the next closest thing, you know? Sadly. All right, let's move on to the triplets, or the paradiddles as triplets. Now, I posted this. I wrote it out this morning when I was having my cup of coffee. It is what we did yesterday. And essentially, it's paradiddles as triplets. So instead of going like paradiddle, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, it's set up as triplets. So like paradiddle, 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 triplet, 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 paradiddle, paradiddle. But it does inverted paradiddles, reverse paradiddles, and then I call them over the bar line paradiddles, but it's basically over the subdivision paradiddles. I don't know the technical term for them, but I wrote it all out. It's 2-bar phrases for each one. Because as triplets, it'll end kind of playing there's 3 versions of each thing in each measure. So to fully come back around to the starting spot takes 2 measures. And the rule that I was trying to do in my head yesterday was keep wherever there's a right, left, right, right, or like that single right part of a right paradiddle, put a kick drum, and accent the lead left of the left-hand version. So on this paper, you'll see like a bolded L. I'm not going to start trying to hit those L's right now, but I'm going to focus on the kick. So I kind of want to do this with a metronome right now, but let's run through it first, see if I retain any of it. Because the truth is, it was very hard yesterday, and that watching back, maybe some of you guys can relate, but I was playing thinking I was doing it, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I am a god. You know, I'm playing it, but I was so wrong on some of them. And I'm watching back going, oh, Dan. In my head, I was playing it correctly, but there were spots where I was playing 2 diddles in a row, or two extra singles, and I was forming it to fit me at the time. Drummers do that a lot. I used to have students that used to be like, you know, I'd give them an exercise. Excuse me. Oh, I slept in today too, so we had a good morning. I guess I'm catching up with the Z's. I would have students who would, you know, giving them like a foot pattern, and they would be playing. I'm like, that's not the right pattern. They're like, yes, it is. I'm like, no, it's not. Sometimes, especially with drumming, you think you're doing something because your brain is thinking of it, but your limbs are in a completely different spot. And they're going, nope. Just like Baby Yoda. No, 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 no. It's what your arms and legs are doing. Your brain's like, yes, yes, yes. And then your limbs are like, no, no, no. That's such a great part of that show. So we're going to start where we left off. Normal paradiddles as triplets in jazz 2 and 4, jazz ride pattern. You'll kind of get the idea. So if you have questions, please interrupt. Please, please, please. Yo, let's go. Playing with Sugar. Hey, man, he does a lot of this stuff. Like, does a lot of this stuff. So that's kind of cool. It's like, it sounds crazy when you're doing it, but if you really think about it, you're like, it's just this, but we turn it into something. It is really hard, but it's kind of neat how these rhythms, that's why hearing, like, listen to the hi-hat, just opening and closing it, how, like, like, it evolves. It's a cool 2-bar phrase that's just playing triplet paradiddles in 2 and 4, you know. It's neat. It's weird. It's different. You know, it just puts you in a different headspace than just like, you know, not that that's bad, but it's just it's creative, you know. Oh, let's go, Legacy. Thank you, Kuya 69. I love it. Thank you. It was perfectly in line. That's awesome. That's so cool. Thank you. Cheers. Cheers. It gives you like a metronome, so your hands on the foot. Yeah. And then you can, if you can keep that going, but then refocus while you're doing it on that sound, like it's neat. Like I'll try to keep it steady, but yeah, listen to how the open and closings happen. But then if you can adjust your left hand to get more tight or more washy sounds with that, it's hard. It's in there, right? But you don't hear it because it's just like, it's crazy. But that dun 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 dun, right? If you take a paradiddle and separate it, it's in there, right? put a legacy. If you're curious, what I'm doing right now, I put online. It's in the Discord. It's on Instagram, Twitter. I put it up this morning if you're curious, but it's really fun. So much fun, yeah. Is that 18? This is a 20-inch 50s of A, so like an Avitas. It's got 5 rivets, and we're missing one. You know, having that 6th rivet not be there, that's the key. Put a 6th one in there, it'll sound like garbage. Kidding. But no, I was gifted this cymbal from someone, and it was one of those things where at the time, I'm not saying I'm a hoarder, but like I was gifted this during my rock metal years, and I was like, oh, what am I going to use this for? Like, ugh, it's lame. But I would bust it out every now and then and be like, oh, that's kind of cool. But I wasn't into like the jazz stuff. The jazz. And I everywhere I went, every different rehearsal studio, every place, it was always with me, and I took it everywhere, and it just kind of sat in storage at these different places. And then again, I drug it here. So it's followed me a long time, and I'm glad I didn't get rid of it or just, say like, I'm never going to play this. And it's just because now I love it. It's so funny how we might have these things that maybe they're not fitting our person. It's like having this, like, I don't know, having a sweater that for years you're like, God, I'm never going to wear that. Or like a coat or something where you're just like, oh, God, no. And then one day you're like, man, I'm going to wear that coat. I dig it now, We change as people. And right now, I'm loving that thing. The China. That's a big Wuhan. Those things, they cut like a knife. An 18-inch Wuhan though is like that's a loud cymbal. But you take it with you and you're like, God, I'm never gonna play this bow. I can't give it away for some reason. And there's usually something there. If you just can't get rid of a guitar, maybe because you're not playing it, you're like, I just can't get rid of it, or a snare or something. It's because there's something in the back of your head that's saying, like, you might not want to play it now, but 10 years from now, that's going to be your favorite guitar, or that's going to be the snare drum that you can't step away from. So maybe just because you're not playing it or into it now doesn't mean you won't be later. So. It has his first crack, so slightly dull. Yeah. Those are, it's so funny, especially when it comes to like metal, how many of those cymbals are in some of our favorite albums or records, and you think it's like, a Zildjian or a Meinl or whatever, but it's a Wuhan, right? They're like, man, certain times you just can't replicate that sound, Something about it, but they're in there. If you look close at studio pictures, you'll see the Wuhans. You know. Or like some of the best metal things are like not the B20 cymbals, but like the B8s, right? Or like the Rude stuff. You'll see, was it Peisty? Those things just have like something in them that's like chunky, beefy, harsh, but you can tame it in a recording. Like you can EQ all that just nastiness out, and you get left with this like really in your face cymbal, So yeah. That running through these yesterday without a paper, like trying to visualize and audibly hear the concept that was in my brain, even though I was playing some of it wrong, but like just working through it without any distractions, sleeping on it, jotting it down on paper this morning, and then coming back to it now, I feel so much more confident with it, and it's neat, so everyone try it out if you want something new. And again, picking it apart, trying to hear that ride in a triplet pattern, right? So, I mean, if you're playing 16th notes, we all know that's a paradiddle. That's what the right hand is doing, right? We didn't do the left hand.
Ready for it?
You know? Muscle! With the 10. Oh! You and Tips both today. Big brats. Muscle Tips is getting a new. Tips built a new porch and is getting a grill. Thank you, dude. Oh, Sin got one. Let's go. And Buzz. Good. And Daniel got one. Daniel's good people. Awesome. I have to do multiple methods. I'm a huge visual learner, so it's fun. I can be a visual learner. I think visually it reinforces. I'm a more audible learner before visual. Because if I'm reading, well, I think it depends on what it is. You know, good morning, airplane go, let's go. I think if I was always this way with school, right? Like as a kid, and maybe you guys are the same way. I would be reading, like they're like, everyone read chapter 4, and I'd be like, oh. And I'd sit there and I would be reading, and I would get to chapter 5 and I'd be like, oh crap, I have no idea what I just read. Even though I read everything, I know I read it because I ended it and time went by, but I was thinking about something so not that book. I don't know what it is. My wife calls it ADHD or whatever, ADM, AMD, the chips or something. I don't know. I have all kinds of letters that my wife has given me. I'm special. But if it's something I'm really into, I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But if it's like meh, yeah, visually I'll check out like instantly. But anything audible with sound, especially drums or something like that, oh man, I can't listen to music and not be distracted anymore. Like, oh, you hear that organ? Oh man, oh, what kind of mic do you think? You know, like I'm just so, and that's my favorite thing is using my ears. So with doing all this stuff this past year, what I've learned is I can be looking at a book and I could focus on that book and I can learn from it. But man, if I can come up with this stuff on my own or know the concept, but then work through it without looking at something, like just really, I feel like I retain it more, you know, and then I'll go write it down like today and I'm like, oh yeah, this makes a lot more sense to visually see it. But you've put in like that work on the front end makes it a lot easier on the back end. So yeah, it's cool. Big nerds. See, I'm thinking about barbecues, Muscle. Have you had barbecue this week? I gotta get my propane. Bobby, I gotta get my propane tank. I gotta exchange it. You had barbecue yesterday. Woo! My tank, like we still have some, but that's the one thing you don't want to have happen is you go to use the grill and you're out of propane. So I gotta go do an exchange. We have a place that'll refill your propane tank, but you have to wait not wait, but like if you go to the front and you're like, hey, can I get some propane? They're like, yeah, someone will be right out there. And I'm like, cool. And I'll go stand by the propane thing. You know, Joe Schmo will be out in a second. And you wait out there for like 20 minutes. They're not coming. Then you got to go back in and be like, yeah, I'm waiting for propane. And they're like, oh, you know, we forgot. And then they're like, maybe 5 minutes. And it's always a thing where if I just go in and go like a propane tank and I exchange it, it's quicker. So I'm torn. The other place is further away, Plinko. So you see my dilemma. If I have to go further, it might be the same time as if I just went to the one place. Life is complicated, guys. Complicated. This is what I deal with, right? Where to get my propane? brisket, sausage. Oh, the beef ribs and the brisket. That is like my new favorite thing. So we have Muscle where I live. It's Greenlee Barbecue, I think they're called. It's not bad. It's nowhere on the level of where you are, but it's pretty good. And what they do every year in the summer, they have this spot. This sounds so redneck, but they bought an old school bus. This is like 10 years ago. They've been doing it for a while. They have a mobile barbecue thing that they pull with the school bus, like a trailer. And the school bus is where they gutted the school bus, and they have like, they'll do like the prep, they'll make the sandwiches and put all the stuff together in the school bus. You go up to the door of the school bus like that, right? And you order and you pick up your food from the bus. It's on the side of the road. And, you know, they start at like 2 a.m. and then they go till they sell out. But they sell out like at 10 o'clock. It's pretty good, right? It's had a lot better, but it's pretty good. It's actually really good for around here. And they've been doing it for a long time. Like, it's pretty cool. But they just bought I don't know if they bought it or they're going into like a place, a sit down place, or I don't know if you could sit down, but it's like like they're renting a suite or whatever in a local thing. So they'll have a physical location, I think, all year round. So that's kind of exciting because they're not even doing the bus yet, So they don't start that until after Memorial Day, and then they go till Labor Day pretty much. And then we don't have barbecue. So I'm hoping it's a all year round thing now. So that'd be cool. Because by the time you go get it, they sell out by 9:30, 10 o'clock. Before even lunchtime, people are down there getting it. It's like, man, save some for the rest of us, But we're coming into where I live. It's all volunteer fire companies, right? So there's a bunch of every 10 miles there's a volunteer fire company. It's nothing fancy, but it's cool. Like if something happens, they all kind of show up to an emergency. It's good. So to do fundraisers, they always do chicken barbecues, right? You'll see so-and-so fire department chicken barbecue this Saturday, and so-and-so so we have a plethora of barbecue options. It's awesome. So we're getting into that season. And it's like the white vinegar barbecue sauce around here. So it's good. It's a good time to be alive. But the brisket, I could go for, brisket sandwich. Oof. But the beef ribs sound real good. My oldest son right now is all about the barbecue. And it's so funny how kids, at first they're like, oh, I don't want that. I want chicken fingers. And now he's like, oh, I don't get any anymore because they eat it all. It's kind of sucks. Barbecue again with all this talk. You deserve it. You deserve it. The sausages, I don't know. Sometimes I pass on the sausages depending on... Because the sausages always leave that, you burp, it's 8 hours later you burp and you're like, oh, it's a sausage. I don't like that. It's like Cheerio burps. Cheerios and sausages give you that same burp. You're like, oh, I ate that hours ago. Why am I still burping Cheerios? What's in them that is doesn't make sense? Serious munchies. Yeah, my wife made pancakes this morning. They were really good, and now I'm still hungry though. She made blackberry pancakes. It was very good. Very, very good. With the big old chunky blackberries. All right, what was I doing? Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what I was doing. But I'm having fun. Oh, paradiddles, triplets, jazz, all the things. I was distracted. But thank you, Muscle. That's so nice. Hopefully you get a day off today. Do you get today off? Hopefully. 2 pounds of, there's much. So we have a local, we just came out of maple syrup season. So we have, we've got, I mean, they don't look pretty, but they're like jugs of local maple syrup. But when I say jugs, they look like the old whiskey jugs, you know, like those brown tan, like the big ceramic things. We've got some of those. So yeah, we're life is good on the hill, as they say. Oh, you're working, dude. When does maybe the new schedule kick in? Hopefully soon, or hopefully you can relax a little bit once school's out. For you guys, I don't like that. Yeah, I told people earlier, Muscle, today's Dad's birthday. May 7th. So we are going up after stream. We'll have, I don't know what we're having. Hopefully my dad likes barbecue chicken. Maybe he'll be barbecuing on his birthday. But we're going to go up there and do some running arounds. To work 7 days a week. It's haircut day, yeah. Dad's getting a haircut. That's so true. Because Mom wanted him to have a haircut before his birthday pictures. Because she says he looks like a bum. Can't make it up. Can't make this stuff up. All right. So again, if anyone has questions of what I'm doing it, why I'm doing it, what's going on, this is all, it's crazy stuff, but it's really fun. So please let me know. All right. I'm going to do the same exercise, the triplets, but I'm going to take away things. I'm going to take away elements of it and see what happens. Just to see, right? That's the whole point of this, is like taking away things just makes it stronger when you add it back in. So let's get to it. Get my shacks on. That's really hard to do. Separate the paradiddles in triplet form while keeping high hat on 2 and 4. dude. I know. What's your deltoid? Where I don't even know where your deltoid is. Where's your deltoid? It sounds a little right. Hi, Blackberry. Oh man, dude, wait till you hear the other ones. I put it online. It's in the Discord, Blackberry too, if you want to check it out. The different paradiddle permutations with this, it's cool. There's some cool stuff, but I have to hear it. I haven't really. I can hear the paradiddle as a 16th note back and forth, right? Money, what's up? Thank you. 3 months. That's so nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hope you're well. The sad thing is, if you or I were 5-year-old kids from the Bengal region, right? They're so easy. Oh, it's so hard. I have to fix my pants. Well, pants are riding up because of the jazz, guys. Because of the hot jazz. Thank you for the 100. The hundo. Seriously, thank you. That's so nice. Oh, yeah, if anyone's just coming in, this paper, it's in the Discord if you want to check it out. And it's online. I posted it today if you're curious. We're working on paradiddles as triplets in jazz form. So like 2 and 4 on the hi-hat, and then putting the kick on the one of the right lead, and then I haven't even started the accents yet with the left, but I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, if you're curious what we're doing, and if you want to look at it and you have questions, please ask. There's a lot to this. It looks like just 4 little things, but there's a lot going on. These are 2-bar phrases. So if you play a paradiddle as a triplet, right? The first measure, if you start with a right, you're gonna go paradiddle, paradiddle, paradiddle. The next measure you started with the left, right? Paradiddle, paradiddle, paradiddle. So it's these are all 2-bar phrases. So the accents shift. It's really neat. It's really neat, and you'll hear it just displace all throughout those 2 bars. So there's a lot to this, and hearing it and making it flow and make sense and know where you are in this knowing where you are in this is the hardest thing. Like putting the kicks down, it's wild. But really cool. Like I can do the hands, but bringing everything else into the equation, independence wise, that's what we're working on. See, I can't sing too good because then I'll get DMCA'd because they're like, oh, snap, there's Beyonce. And I'll be like, no, it was just me. Thank you, though. Hi. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for the support. Appreciate it. DJ's like, yeah. Sure, Dan. Sure. Yeah, I gotta really be careful with my Mariah Carey because then they'll be like, oh, snap. You know? True story. The cool thing about this is if you mess it up, like halfway through, you're like, I lost it. You can kind of fudge your way around it, and people be like, oh, it's so cool. And you're like, yeah, no, that's awesome. But you totally messed it up. Trade secret. You know, you start some, and you're like, yeah, oh, God, I lost it. But then turn it into just noise, and people are like, oh, my God. You know? Rockstar Armors as an astounding amount of... Yep. Chromatic. Yep. Yeah. The thing about Chad Sexton is he's very rudimental, right? Like Chad Sexton was he was in DCI, I think for even way too long. Like him and Travis Barker like lied about their age to stay in. It's very well known, but like that's all those hand patterns and learning the accents within those rudimental things, and you know, understanding just a great understanding of subdivisions and timing and clean playing. Bringing that over to the drum set, I mean, it's just so cool. You know, I've heard a lot of marching drummers come to the drum set and suck because they think of it with such a like articulate, perfect way, like drumline. Chad, there's drummers who can bridge that gap of like taking what they learned there, bringing it over to the kit, but adding a swagger to it, you know, making it groove. And Travis is another one of those people, you know. Carter, though, Carter is just, yeah. And when you say jazz stuff, Carter is like, independence wise and his understanding of stuff too is really good, but he's just got this thing. I don't know how to describe Carter. I really don't, because there's drummers who play like that, but they have to play the same thing all the time, right? The same fills, they kind of have the same ideas. Where Carter, have you seen Chromatic, that video by Harry Myrie? If you don't know Harry, you should first follow him on YouTube. He's hilarious. My dudes. He's great, but he loves Carter, right? And he got to interview him, and it's cool because you could tell he's just like super fanboying, and Carter's being awesome. But he shows Carter, like, he went through all these live versions of Carter playing, I don't know, this one song, let's say Ants Marching, this one section maybe, or a part of the song that they play live all the time. And Harry compiled, like, I think it was like 30 or 50 live versions of that song over the years. Maybe more, right? Because there's so many. It's just, think of how long Dave Matthews has been around and how many shows they do. But he showed Carter, like, Harry spent time cutting out, finding all these versions of that song, and that fill in particular. Every time Carter plays that, everything, it's different every time. how he recorded it, some people would just stick to that, right? And just like Neil Peart just played the album perfectly. Danny Carey's a great example. Like they're really intricate parts, but they follow a blueprint. And maybe they change it up every now and then, but for the most part, they kind of have the same idea. Carter, every fill, everything. So when you bring up like how close they are and what they do with jazz, Carter isn't playing jazz in particular, but the amount of improvisation that he plays every night on a gig, that's jazz. That's so jazz. And Harry shows Carter, he's like, do you know that like every time you play a fill in this song or like all these fills are all different? He's like, yeah, oh yeah, that's cool. Like he doesn't even think about it. Every time a fill comes up, he does something different. It's within the realm of the song and it fits, but he's so musical. Like he never plays the same fill twice is what I'm getting at. And he always knows exactly what he wants to play, and it fits, and it's awesome to watch. So Harry Myrie, I don't know how to spell his name. M-Y-R-E maybe? Myrie. But Harry Myrie, he's a good guy. He's very fun, very entertaining. Seems like a good person. Great drummer. But it's a neat video. I think it's like a 2-part video. They're on Carter's Drum Riser just chatting. Those that bridge the gap are the players that bring drum lines. That's metric servitude with just enough riding the edges. Yeah. That's to me. That's Chad, 1,000%. Like you hear every note that Chad plays, right? Travis is another one of those drummers where every little thing they play there's a purpose for it, and it's very audible and clean. Some drummers play and they're like it's I'm not saying it's sloppy, but the presentation isn't as tight, you know. I have to stop at the good. Yeah, he's so good. Yeah. Carter's another one of those players too that has the power, you know. And he's played the same kit forever, right? He has like that Yamaha kit. I think I've read that somewhere. Like there's a few drummers out there that like never change their kits. Like Charlie Watts, Carter. Like they just use the same kit all the time. He's had the same like Yamaha kit forever. So the way he tunes it, it's just so fits his style, you know. It's like everything just is perfect when he plays. It's sickening, I'll tell you that much. It's just downright sickening. All right, I'm gonna try to bring in the left-hand accents. We didn't do this yesterday, so if you're looking at the paper or if you want to check the Discord, I posted it this morning before I went live, and there's bold L's, like big L's, double L's, right? My Jeremy Clarkson on. That is to be an accent with the left hand, right? So kick with the rights, accents with the left, but in triplet form. So it's gonna kind of be like a big quarter note triplet, right? Right? Oh my gosh. It'll be weird. We'll try it. Oh, you release the pressure of the ears. Here we go. Building up, right? you guys. You're so kind. Thank you. I want to play Jay-Z. Well, I'll get yelled at. I'll get yelled at. Sounds like it has a different reservoir than you usually hear. Blackberry. Do you want to know? Do you want to know the skinny? I muted myself. Did you guys ever just like mute yourself? No, a new mix, Blackberry. Nothing different, just a new mix. A lot of 1500 hertz is gone, so that like probably maybe. Yeah, new mix. Who dis? And I used some of the curve gain, so it's like 3 dB cut up to, I don't even know. I just did it till where I noticed it took away from the overhead. So if I turn it off, maybe you'll hear. Hold on, I'll turn off the low cut. It's not a lot, but it like tightens up a little bit. But a lot of 1500 hertz is gone. I was like, ugh. I don't know. I liked it a little more. It's a little cleaner than it was. Yeah, so it's like a different. I'm rolling off on the 414s on the toms a little bit. Where am I rolling off here? I think I can't see. I think 80 hertz, right? Because I just kind of want a little bit of warmth. Here, I'll go put the 1500 back in. Hold on. So here's the 1500 at 0, or no mid EQ. You can already hear that like honkiness. big difference. It just sounds, it's not bad, but just it's so much harsher, and like it tires my ears. So without it, I just feel like it's tighter, and it's more easier to listen to for me anyway. So let me know if you notice a difference. Hold on, I'll go switch it back. So here's the back on. Here's the cut. I think the 1500 thing, I mean, we could try different mics, but I really think just the room that is just amplified a little bit more, the position, it's really just through this mic, but cleaning that up, getting rid of that 1500 hertz really makes the high end just and the low end just seem more clear. I don't know. It's interesting. But I love the 414s. I'm loving them. Right now, these are in figure of 8, actually. So it's getting a little cymbal action going on. I love them. We're best friends. We're a balanced tonal center with it, right? Yeah. I'm getting there. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Oh, it's really funny. Before I was just like putting all the mics up, working on how they're positioned, and then just doing the master, like drum bus compression thing. But now I'm still like boosting, I think 2 dB at 10K and 2 dB at 50. So like a little smiley face, not a shelf, just a little bump. But I'm utilizing the curve gain on the overhead because it's really just the overhead mix. So I'm doing a little bit there. I just turned it to where it just felt it sounded natural without it going too crispy. And then getting rid of some of that, like I said, it's a 3 dB cut on the low end. So just sliding that shelf over to where I noticed it was, it was away from the kick and the tom, so that the tom mics could be more in that space. Just doing little things like that. Like if I turn the curve gains off, check it out. So with it on, it's not like a lot, but it adds a little like sheen to the cymbals that I hear when I take my in-ears out. So I was trying to do that, like find that spot where it's like, oh yeah, it sounds right, and then find the frequency where it didn't affect the other things. So that's a big part of it right now. It just adds a little bit, just a little bit. I'm learning that it's not. I'm learning now to sculpt with a little ting ting rather than a big right? So we're getting there. I'll change it all tomorrow, Muscle. Tomorrow I'll be like, oh, I hate everything. right? Have a whole new. I'll be playing saxophone tomorrow. That's what's gonna go on. All right. Triplets, paradiddles, accents. We're getting there. How the sound choices have changed over the last couple of years. You're moving more towards a more tonally balanced. Trying to punch and power. It's now much more expressive sound. We can hear the difference. Yeah, dude, I love it. And it makes me play actually better, right? Because I can't just whack it and it be okay. Dennis, what's up? Hi. I can't just beat the snot out of the drums and let the compressors do all the work, you know? You have to be very intentional of where you hit because, you know, it's not going to lie. These microphones aren't going to lie at all. If you're not playing right, it's like, well, you're not playing right. So I love it. It's very honest. Happy Sunday to you, Dennis. Hi. Dennis is on YouTube. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. But I'm gonna try to play like I'm gonna accent that right. So instead of playing it with a kick drum, I'm gonna accent the right and the left hand leads of the triplets in the paradiddle phrase, and then I'll just accent the left, and then we'll bring the kick back in. But so the kick drum on this exercise, if you're curious, it's in the Discord, and I did post it online if you guys want to follow along. It's on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. But the accents for the kick drum it's a 2-bar phrase. So it's on the first triplet, the second ta of 3, and the first ta of 2 on bar 2. So technically they're all quarter note triplet phrases. It's coming across a dynamic trill kind of much just making the playing. Oh, let's go. Trying. I'm thinking so much more differently than I used to a year ago. And it's wild. And I'm very frustrated at my abilities to not get out what I want to say. You know? That's the cool part. Is now I'm like, I want to play it this way, but I can't. You know? But here we go. is really hard. Yeah, it's hard, Blackberry. It's hard. Oh, we're getting it. I can separate these a little bit, but these are tricky. These are really hard. Whew. Blackberry, have a good day, man. And Clam, hi, hello, good morning, Agent. It's hard, right? It's weird, cause it's like you're playing so right if you're playing triplets. Right, that's what I'm going for.
ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Uptemo!
Can't die. Hi, Venus. Oh my goodness. Hi, guys. Bless your faces. Oh, hi, guys. We're tripling today. Beaver. Angie, hi. Hello. Did you have a good stream? I hope so. It's getting summery times. Right? It's like it's spring is in the air. But I hope you had a great stream. Hi. Oh, we come from Venus to bless your faces and spread the love. Guys, if you're in my chat and you don't know who Venus is, please follow her right now. She is the classiest act on Twitch. 1,000%. 1,000%. We're jazzing today, guys. We're doing really crazy wild. Does anyone know what a paradiddle is? Anyone? Drummer, you know, I'll say this. Don't make me sound mean, but real instruments play scales. Drummers have rudiments. Beaver, it's all good. Oh, language of the future. It is. It's the language of the present, past, present, and future, I believe. But a paradiddle, I'm kidding, by the way. Drummers are musicians too. But a paradiddle is a hand pattern, right? Paradiddle, exactly. Exactly. So if you take a paradiddle, basically it's right, left, right, right. So right, left, right, right. Anyone can do this wherever you are right now. You could do it on your lap, you know. Right, left, right, right. And then the opposite, left, right, left, left. Now, if you say the word paradiddle while you're doing it, para is the right, left. And then the diddle is the double. Paradiddle, paradiddle, right? It's cool. It's a little hand pattern. Paradiddle, paradiddle. It's like a rudiment, right? I forget what number it is, but there's technically 40 rudiments. But as a drummer, if you guys want to try this, my wife loves it. She likes all the rudimental things. But when doing it, you get different sounds, right? If you put the hands on different spots. They're hard to play, yeah, when you speed them up. So it's a rudiment, right? Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Paradiddle, paradiddle. Helps when you do the diddle, right? Most drum things, when you play them, the name Bird Mother Maria, hi. I like your name. I like the bird too. But basically, they sound the way they're named, right? Like Heritas and stuff like that. Herita, paradiddle, paradiddle, ratamacu, all those things. They kind of match. My boys are upstairs playing piano, so you probably hear that. The thing is with the paradiddle, that's just in, you could say, like a straight subdivision, like eighth note, 16ths. Paradiddle, paradiddle, right, left, right, left. What we're doing today in a jazz sense is jazz and blues and all that based off of triplets, right? Triplet, triplet, dun 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 dun, right? It's all triplet based. So taking a triplet, turning it into a triplet, taking a paradiddle and adding it into an eighth note subdivision. So you get a weird, like, it's a 2-bar triplet, 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 triplet. It's kind of cool. So that's what we're working on today. It's wild. And I posted if anyone's curious. It's online in our Discord and on Twitter and Instagram what we're working on. So it's hard stuff. It's really weird. But it is hard, Brooke. As you speed it up. Paradiddles are just so weird because your brain wants to do just right lefts or just 2 in a row, right? So quick starting and stopping of those is hard. Fugmans. Am I saying your name right? I love it. This is the very first thing I learned when I took lessons as a kid. My mom got rid of my drums soon after and ended my career. I taught drums for a long time. And one of the funniest things was people would, every kid wants to play drums, right? And so the parents would sign them up and then Santa would bring them a drum set, Santa would show up and the kids would come in and go, Santa brought me a drum set. And I'd be like, that's so cool. That's awesome. Santa must love you. And then I talked to the parents and the parents were like, Santa didn't know how loud the drums were going to be. Right? They get a drum set and they put it in their room or the living room or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, they're loud. They're very loud. Can one execute a triplet inside the paradiddle? Oh, wait. Yeah. That's what we're doing. A whole lot of love. The intro to rock and roll, yeah. That's just accented triplets, right? In advanced techniques with paradiddles and shifting the accents is a game changer. Yeah. So what Baked is talking about is if you take a paradiddle, there's technically 4 notes in a paradiddle, and what they're talking about is shifting the accent. So it sounds like this. It's kind of cool. Very, very, very cool. You cannot follow? Maybe it's just oh, that's weird. Game, I'm sorry. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That could be a Twitch thing. That's a weird. I've never seen that before. But besides, Santa actually brought a noise complaint for Christmas. If you have friends that have kids and you want to troll them or mess with them, if they have little kids, go to Target or Walmart around Christmas time, buy those little drum sets. you know what I'm talking about? They're kiddie drum sets. Just get them one of those for your friends, kids, and be like, Merry Christmas. And your friends will be like, why'd you do that? Yeah, Shocker. In a store, hi Shocker, it's good to see you. In a store, I guess maybe because there's more air and maybe carpet or more stuff to diffuse the sound, they don't sound as loud. And plus you're in the moment or whatever. When people get them home, the drums, and put them in their their untreated rooms with drywall and windows and maybe wood floors or something, or tile. Oh gosh. Then it's just an echo chamber, and they're just accented triplets got it. Coincidentally, I watched Foo Fighters Wembley. Girl gets behind the kit and performs rock roll. They got a good camera. Hopefully our internet's been a little weird today. See what he was doing. Yeah. That's awesome. Shocker. Sorry if the internet is tripping. It's tripping. Maybe it's a Twitch thing today. I don't know. If you can't follow, maybe Twitch is having a server thing. But I was going to tell you one more thing, Baked. With the accented triplet thing on the hi-hat, it's really cool. You can have a lot of fun with that. Check it out. Doing like... Those are all paradiddles, but like where you place the accents, maybe once you get used to playing them as all in the same spot, then start mixing them around, you know, or take beats where you would play and add that, you know, add it to where the paradiddle would be. You can get some cool stuff, but that's like, it'll hurt your brain. I suggest writing stuff out if you can, is the buffering. I think it's my end or Twitch's, yeah, because I got a little thing saying like internet connection's wonky. It's been weird today. We had a couple drop frames, so brought a rolling kit right out the gate. We switched from a Ludwig kit to a Roland when we first got a house because even with the padded wall garage, it's loud, yeah. Even the electric kits are loud, you know, because like that thumping, that stomping. It's something. I need 2 more hi-hat work. My kids are above us. I'm so sorry, guys. They're crazy. As soundproof as this room is with this microphone, it just magnifies what they're doing. Enjoy putting 2 accents next to each other. Oh. I see what you mean. Let me try that. That's kind of cool. It's 8 seconds latency? What? That's crazy. That's wild. That seems like a lot, isn't it? That's a lot of latency. It could be Twitch. Yeah, I don't know. I think about that's putting 2 in a row in reverse paradiddles. Oh man, Baked. Seriously, you gotta go online or I put it on Twitter, and it's in our Discord and Instagram. But you should check this. You should check this out. Because it's normal paradiddles, inverted, reverse, and then over the bar line paradiddles, you know. Sergey, hi. I don't know what that says. Looks like ISP to Dan may be having issues. Yeah. Tilting the internet. I'll check it out after stream. It's always something, right? Always something. So apologies. But yeah. We're having fun. So I was taking paradiddles, putting them in a jazz sense, in a triplet form. So it sounds like this. It's so cool, but it's so hard at the same time to hear. I mean, I've always played paradiddles as like 16th notes or 8th notes. So to bring them into a realm of triplets and just hearing the pattern, if you break up a triplet, right, you get these two rhythms that combine to make a paradiddle. If you break them up, that always helped me too. Baked is to hear the different notes separate, right?
What's up?
Thank you for 2 months. That's so nice. It's definitely jazzy. According to your B-sides. Now I can retire. I love it. I have definitive proof that it's jazz. That it's jazzy, right? But thank you for the 2 months. That's so nice. But paradiddles are weird and interesting, but really fun, really cool. My kids are literally right above us. They are home from church. They know this is about the time that I end, and they're probably like, hurry up, let's play video games. Because it's the weekend. They can play video games on the weekend. We have a pretty strict no video game rule after school. You know? It's just so they don't melt their brains. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they could play some video games. So now if they were good at church... Oh my God, do you hear them? They're so loud. If they were good at church, we're going to play some video games later. But we'll see. We'll see. They're getting pretty good at games. Does anyone here have kids that are so good at... Oh, they are. Yeah, Remo heads. Yeah. Gang, yeah, they're Remo heads. Ambassadors all around the kit. Except for the front is a fiber skin. So, yeah, it's a good little setup. Very musical, right? But my kids right now are so good. They're so much better than me at video games. And I'm like, man, what the heck? So maybe I'm just old. And that's the way it is. They just get better than us as we start to deteriorate and fall apart, right? Straight up, they're just so good. Their reaction time, I guess. I don't know what it is, but they're pretty darn good. But that was a normal paradiddle. Now let's take... I haven't started this yet today. We did this yesterday. We started it. I haven't come back to it yet today, but let's take an inverted paradiddle. So an inverted paradiddle, instead of playing right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Basically what this is you just slide those over, right? Just one. So we're going to start with our left hand, and it'll sound like this. That is a version of RLLR. I'm moving the right-handed triplet just over one. So it'll start with the left, but you can do either or. Yeah, that's where we're going next, but you're reading ahead in the book. Baked. I'm trying to just shift it over so then when I do the reverse paradiddle, it'll start with the right. No, you're good. You're good. It's the same thing, but yeah, if you start with like really learn to shift it over, it is convenient to always start with the right hand, but it really throws you off if you got to start with the left, you know? A Jimmy Carapilla, yeah. It's hard. It's hard. Right? So it's hard. It's so weird. Now, if I add a kick drum to the start of the single rights, it's on the paper, but this is going to be rough because we haven't done it since yesterday. Woo! Yeah, it's weird because you're hearing it displaced, right? If I isolate just the ride cymbal, check it out. It's like a big quarter note triplet, right? It's so good. It's so cool, but there's so much like you could do with that, you know. But it's just tapping into it and feeling it. That's a big deal. 4.51. Continuing to play soothing sounds of orchids. That's awesome. Soothing sounds of the orca to the data center. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Wait, orcas? Yeah, what do they sound like? They're pretty scary, orcas. Right? They sound like kind of like dolphins, but scarier. What is it? The like big whales are like. Orcas are like. Yeah, they're like big jerks. Killer whales are like bullies. I guess they're aptly named. We just watched a video of a white, like an albino killer whale. Have you seen that? It was off the coast of California, I believe. It's like all white. It's kind of neat. They chase, eat sea lions. Yeah, they like kill whales. They'll like gang up and like a pack of wolves. They'll like take down, like actual whales. Like that's wild. I would be more afraid of a killer whale around me than a shark, I think. Because sharks, most of the time when they eat you, they're just like, sorry, my bad. I thought you were something else. You know? Where killer whales are like, they're thinking like, oh man, I'm gonna get that. Like that's food. Like they're smarter than sharks, I think. Hold on. There's a fan in the light above me. That light. Hear that hum? It's rubbing against the wall and it's vibrating. Hold on. Like the vibration of the light. Just gotta wiggle it. Wiggle it out. And it's gone. Good. Sound engineer. Yeah, no. I'll tell you what, shocker, the first time I heard that, I was like, what is that sound? What is that sound? And I'm like, it was going, I'm like, with the microphones, it's just so, like, See, I keep thinking I hear it, but it's not there. I'm like, is it a camera thing? Like, is it a hum? Is it like, is it upstairs somewhere? I'm like, is someone running like a blender and it's vibrating or something? It's just such a, I was losing my mind, and then I come in here and I'm like walking around, and I'm like, because it's so magnified with this shotgun mic. When you take the in-ears out, you can't really hear it. You're like, I don't hear it. But then under the microphone, it picks up so well, and all the compression, it's just like, it was wild. It took me like 2 days to find it because it doesn't do it all the time. The term killer whale is actually a mistranslation. The actual term for them is whale killer. Yo, that's crazy. Wagner, hi. That's wild. Whale killer. Yeah, they kill like the big whales, right? Like humpbacks, and I don't know about blue whales. Blue whales are like the big one, right? That's crazy. Like, how do you kill a whale when you're like, do they just like chew it to death? You know, like, that's gotta be crazy. I've seen them like eat whales, like, cause they float at the surface, and I've seen them like all just like vultures, like rip apart a whale. But whale killer could be a good like band name, right? Whew. This stuff feels good. We're getting somewhere with this. I know it's not going to be a one-day thing, but there's so much potential in this. They're big meanies, right? Yeah, like everyone thought like Shamu and like, what was it, Free Willy came out, and they're like, oh, they're so nice. It's like, what? No, they're not nice. It's like all those wolf movies. When I was a kid, there was like White Fang, and I don't remember, there was a couple of them, and my sister was like, I want a wolf, and my dad's like, like they're super jerks. Like, they're not pets. All they want to do is eat you, you know. And like lions, everyone wanted a lion after Lion King. It's like, that's not something, it's totally not how they are in real life, you know. Next PETA, yeah. I really don't think like SeaWorld and all that. I mean, zoos in general, I just feel bad for the animals. I could see if they're injured and you're kind of taking care of them, but man, to see an orca that like migrates like literally around the globe every year and put it in a little tank, you know, like that's, I don't know, that's so messed up. The ratio of like size to space that they need, it's got to be huge, you know. Had rescued an injured seal, nursed it to health, and made a big deal of releasing it back into the wild. When they got to film it less than a minute after release. It's like that movie. I mean, that's so sad, but that's nature. I mean, like we are like, oh, but like in nature, that's like, yeah, that's what happens. There's that video of like that little girl putting the fish back in the pond after they caught it, and it's just like the snapping turtle or whatever is like it's just, that's how it is. Or they released a bird, I think too, like something. They released like a dove that was injured or something, and like an eagle just came down. Happens all the time, right? It's so cruel is what I was saying. Yeah, no, I agree. I could see if like the animals are injured and like whatever, they can't fly or they can't walk, or, like I get it. But when you have like a perfectly healthy lion in captivity, like that's so weird. It doesn't make sense, you know? That thing is supposed to be like covering, you know, hundreds of acres a day or whatever. And it's just sitting there in the same spot every day, all the noise, and just, it's so weird. Nature is metal. Oh, I've heard about that. My friend was telling me about that. I have to check that out. We used to watch every Sunday. Like, I grew up in the country, so like, you know, it's a different way to be raised than like, I guess in the city where you're just kind of around, nature more. Like I used to go out and walk around the woods all the time. You see, stuff get attacked. You find dead, things, and you're like, that stinks. But it is nature. Speaking of nature, what I'm getting at is every Sunday when I was a kid, we would we didn't have cable, we didn't have streaming, all that stuff that you have now. So whatever was on TV, you kind of watched. But Sunday nights was a show on PBS called Nature, right? And it had like a certain I remember the music kind of, it was very ingrained in my brain. But we would always watch that, right? Like I grew up and we watched it with my dad and mom, and it's just, it's part of life. My cousins would come over, Sarah and Stacy, the ones we were talking about before, with Teddy Ruxpin. They would come over and, they'd spend the night in the summer or whatever. We'd have, my mom would babysit them if my aunt and uncle were going somewhere. And we would watch Nature, right? Because I'd be like, oh, cool, Nature's on. And they would watch it and be like, ah! The lions are getting the zebra, and they'd be crying. It's like, what's wrong with you? That's what happens. That's nature, circle of life. And I was just looking at them like, what's going on? And then I remember when Jurassic Park came out, we watched it. They freaked out. I think we gave them nightmares for years. Because I was like, you guys got to come over and watch Jurassic Park. So much about these animals. I was studying them in captivity. Things that benefited their cousins. Well, true. Yeah. Hey, I see pluses and minuses of it, but it's hard to go to a zoo that is purely entertainment. And the ones that are doing the research, I totally get it. But a lot of the smaller ones, they're just, I don't know. I've eaten a lot of squirrel, snake, turtle, and raccoon when I was younger. I've never had raccoon. I've had squirrel, I've had snake, and I've had snapping turtle. I've had snapping turtle. I've never had raccoon though. But yeah, it's different. It's different when you grow up, I guess, in the country or certain countries or regions. It's different. It's the food chain. Yeah, dude. I remember my dad laughing. Because me and my sister were like, why are you crying? They're like, the zebra's getting eaten. And we were like, yeah, I guess. It sucks. But now, it's fun to learn about that stuff. And you realize, they got to eat, They can't just go down to Trader Joe's and be like, pound of zebra slices, please. It's interesting. It's crazy. We have bunnies right now. As probably most of you know, bunnies have a lot of babies, and the babies, I don't even know how many they had, but we have coyotes around here, and the coyotes show up now, when all the baby bunnies and baby stuff is around, so we're always trying to scare the coyotes away. Get away from here. We know you're after them baby bunnies. The bunnies are so cute though. They're so cute. So you don't want them to get a baby bunny, Get the old grumpy bunny. Go after that. Go after Grandpa Bunny, He's all just grumpy. His dad was getting ready to butcher a hog, so hung upside down. He's gonna bleed it. Cussed another. Saw it pass out. Gave him a hard time. But yeah. I mean, if you're not used to it, I get it, But I mean, I grew up on a farm. It's the same thing, Chickens, pigs, cows. Not that you become numb to it. I remember my grandpa always would cry when you have to put down, if an animal got sick or something, it's not easy. But you don't want them suffering, as they get older, in nature. You hate to see a young animal go too soon, but, it's a circle of life. That happens. the best animal videos I've ever seen, bar none. Casual Geographic Channel? No. Is it funny? See, I love like Planet Earth, all those things. Like the BBC, you know, with David Attenborough. I love that guy. I love that stuff. Love learning about it. It's definitely humbling when you realize what goes on this planet. You know, Juju 3. Oh my gosh, that's crazy when you put it like that. Hi. We were just talking about California. There was a white killer whale spotted. I think it was off the coast of San Diego, but I could be wrong. But I hope you're well. Hello. That's so wild. Thank you. 3 years. Oh, fun fact too. My wife is super into gardening, and she gets praying mantis egg sac things. Right now you can find them, like we find them in the fields and on trees, and you put them in your garden, like the little praying mantis egg sacs, and then they hatch the little baby mantises. Last year I got a whole bunch of pictures of them. They're so cute. They're like these little like they'll get you, man. They're crazy. We painted on Planet Earth from air review. Oh wow, yeah. Like wolves fast. They're so smart, and we just think they're like these dumb animals. They're so smart, you know. But these praying mantises, you put the egg sacs in the garden, and then they hatch, and they get the bad bugs, right? They grow up, and they don't go too far away from where they usually hatch. That's, I guess, one thing that they do, at least their first year. So in a garden, there's a lot of bugs, so these little babies have a lot to eat, but they keep the bugs away, you know? It's kind of neat. Circle of life. But praying mantises are awesome. I don't know what it is about them things, but they'll, like, as they get older, they're walking around, they're like doing the thing, and they'll watch you, you know? It's freaky, because you don't know if they're all of a sudden going to be like, you know, like an alien movie or something. But if you're walking by one and they see you, they'll like totally... they're creepy. I love it, though. There was a movie called Blood of the Beast, which teacher only showed at the end of the class and dismissed everyone. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to see usually that stuff either, but, you know, it happens, I guess. Yeah, we have a lot of, like, deer around here, and sadly, like, a lot of them will get hit by cars. So you'll see a lot of, like, vultures, the bald eagles around here, coyotes, like the scavengers and all that. It's crazy to see, you know, how nature works. It's wild stuff. And then all the decomposer things in the soil. It's crazy how that all works. The funguses and microorganisms, all the bees and the flowers. Guys, circle of life. You take one of those things out of the equation, it's crazy how it can all go away, right? Like the pollinators with the bees, you know? If the bees aren't there to do the thing, we won't have fruit, we won't have the stuff to eat the foods, to make the salsa, to make the thing, to make your burritos, you know? Make my coffee beans, so leave the beans alone. There's more emphasis for one critter taking out another than anyone on YouTube came from Earth's guest list. Put on Godspeed dial. That's funny. I'm getting hungry. Today's my dad's birthday, and we're gonna go up for food. I should probably get going because I do have to shower and all that. I'm getting that gurgly tummy of hungriness. We did not get nearly as far as I wanted to today, but we got a lot done. Did you hear my stomach? It's like, I got that hungriness, hungry in my tummy. I'll be on tomorrow night, and we'll continue with this. I want to really get this over the next couple days. These Triplet Paradiddles. Again, if anyone's curious, I posted it online. You can check it out. It's up there, what we're working on for a few days. Accent pattern, I've been practicing. It's in the middle. Oh, I see where you put it. Hold on. Okay, yeah. That is cool. That's cool. You could do it on the reverse too, right? So start with that. Start with the accent. That's what I guess I was doing that. Right? That's cool. Too many cool things, guys. Not enough time. Not enough time, right? Love you. Everyone be good. Get some food. Get some treats. Relax. Watch a movie. Play a video game. Take a nap. Treat yourself. Austin, have a great day. Thank you guys for hanging. Today was really fun. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. This whole week, I'm not recording. I'm not doing anything. I'm leaving this kit here, and we're going to focus on practicing this week. It's a put in work week, right? So it's going to be brain day every day. But I'll see you guys off to a birthday party yet again. But this time is good because my mom's cooking and she makes good cake. So I know the food's going to be good. So it will not disappoint. But I'll see you guys tomorrow night, probably around 5-ish Eastern. So, yeah, I'll see you then. Goodbye.